Hello, children. This is our first set of notes, and that's going to be over metrics. This will be the first topic we study, and hopefully this is just review. So on your note page you got in class, and we're going to go through these first few sets of notes in class just to make sure I've got my timing right and I'm not going too fast as we flip the lessons and start sending these home. So here we go. So you should have a little table at the top of your notes that says the starting point, base units, and abbreviations across the top. So we're going to go through all of this together. So in metrics, here are the base units for length, mass, and volume. So length, the base unit is, that's right, if you've already guessed it, it is the meter. The base unit for mass is the gram. And the base unit for volume is the liter. And meter is abbreviated very simply with the letter M, gram with the letter G, both lowercase, and liter is abbreviated with an uppercase L. The reason we do that is because, well, an lowercase l, is that an I, is it an L? So we don't do that. We use just an uppercase L, or sometimes a cursive L. That's okay too. So cursive L, uppercase L are okay. Now this slide's going to take you a little while to fill in, okay? And I've already got it filled in typed so that it makes it a little easier. In the metric system, we use prefixes to help us tell how big or small that metric unit is. So starting with one of the bigger metric units that we will use, and there are ones that go way bigger than this, and but we're going to focus in on the kilo because it's pretty common. Its symbol is K, and it means 1,000 times. So for example, a kilometer, so we put the K from kilo, and we marry that with the M from meter, and we get an abbreviation of km. Hecto is the abbreviation for 100 times, or the prefix for 100 times. It's abbreviated with the letter H. So, for example, when we marry that with a liter, which this would mean 100 liters, we get hectoliter, and it's little h or lowercase h and uppercase L. And again, it means 100 times. Deca is dk, and it means 10 times the base unit. So when we marry that, for example, with gram, it would be dkg. And then we have our base units, and it could be a meter, a liter, or a gram, and we just learned on the previous slide that would be M, uppercase L, and G for the abbreviations, and that is just 1 times that base unit. Now going smaller than the base unit, we have deci. Its symbol is a lowercase d, and the meaning is that it's 1/10 of the base unit. So for example, if we marry deci with gram, we get dg, decigram. So as you look at deci and deca, the reason we put the K with deca is so that we don't get the two confused. Now then, 1/100th of our base unit is the centa prefix, and its symbol is C, and it means 1/100th. And this is a very common one that you all know, centimeter, and that's cm. And then milli is 1/1000th of the base unit. Its prefix is M, and again, it's 1/1000th of the base unit. And so, for example, a milligram, we see those commonly like on prescriptions or even foods that we eat. mg would be the abbreviation for milligram. So hopefully you have noticed something about the metric system if you don't remember it. And that is, it is based on 10. It is a base 10 system. So every time we make a jump, we are jumping up 10 times from where we were before. In science, we often have the need to convert metric units from one unit to the other. And it's pretty simple to do. When we want to move down the ladder, in other words, we want to convert from something big to something small, we move our decimal to the right. Likewise, if we want to move from something small to something big, we move our decimal to the left. So we're going to look at some examples right now. Here's our first sample problem. We want to convert 4.6 centimeters into millimeters. So let's look at where those two are. There's centa, that's our start. Here's milli, that's our end. So it looks like we are going to move our decimal to the right. So let's see what happens. We take 4.6, we move our decimal to the right 1, and that gives us 46 millimeters. And it's just that simple. Wow, okay, good. Let's try. On this sample problem, let me make that so we can actually see it. On this sample problem, we are going to convert 405.2 deciliters, notice no K in there, to kiloliters, okay? So we're starting here, and we are going to move all the way up to here, okay? So this is our start, and this is our end, all right? So as we do that, we've got 405.2, and I'd like to count my jumps. I'm going to jump 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps. So I'm going to go down here and do the same thing. 1 step, 2 step, 3 steps. Oh, there's nothing there, so that means I'm going to add a 0 in there. I'm going to put my decimal. So that's my final answer. So it equals 0, easy for me to say, let me erase that, 0.04052, and that will be kiloliters. That's our final answer. So here's another sample problem. We want to convert 12.3 kilograms into grams. Okay, so that means we are going to start here at kilo, and we're going to end here at our base unit, which is grams. Okay, so I've got 12.3, and it looks like I'm going to jump 1, 2, 3 to the right. So let's go 1, and again we don't have anything there, so I've got to add zeros, 2 and 3. So I add in my imaginary zeros, put my decimal there. So my final answer is going to be 12,300 grams. And there we go. Okay, on this page, let me shrink this up a little bit. You have this on the back of your notes. You have a bunch of sample problems, and I'd like for you to try to work through these on your own and see how you do. And then when we come back together in class, we can look at these together and see how well we did on them, and if we understand what we're doing, and if we get this whole metric ladder thing. And last slide, this says kids here design mnemonic devices creating memorization. Now I know you did a mnemonic device if you were here at HSE last year with the kingdom, phyla, classes and all of that stuff in your ecology unit or something like that, and we use these a lot, different mnemonic devices. And my challenge for you is to make a mnemonic device using the beginning letter of each one of the prefixes of the metric ladder. So here's an example. King Harry delighted in buying for base unit a deluxe for Dessa cheese maker. Okay, this student, Hannah Mendenhall, did something a little bit more intense, and she used the kilo, hecto, deca, but then she actually, in parentheses, did the base units meter, gram, and liter. And then we've got dessa, centa, and milli. So try to make your own. It makes it easier to remember when it comes test or quiz time. It's nice to have that tucked away in our brain.